Welcome to another episode of the Ballinesian podcast. Two Samoans talking about sports. Going to be locking in on NFL and fantasy, as well as the Chargers and the Raiders throughout the 2024 season. So definitely bookmark, come on back. I am Lance Forrest. How's it going this week?
Pretty good, man. I got to spend the weekend out there in Portland with you guys, so that was cool. Got some food in, got some golf in, got a ton of laps in. So yeah, man, it was a pretty good weekend. Much needed break from the normal, regularity of things out here. So get back, easy reset. Get back onto the grind, refocus.
Yeah. Nice little time away and then back to it. Yeah, shout out to brother Noah, June, AB.
Yeah.
We were all out at Wildwood. You seen Forces live on
Oh
IG
man.
Sunday morning. This is what golf has done to me. It's the opening weekend of the NFL, and Noah was like, "Oh, June and Forrest are coming down. We're gonna go golf at 8 o'clock." And I was like, "I am in." We don't. We were sweating the internet service out there. Some
Oh
of the
my
mountain
God.
passes, as it came to
Oh,
like 9:45, 9:50 Pacific time. We are like, "I just want to check, just make sure my lineup is set." Everything was cool.
that's so funny. I
Yeah,
blame
it was
golf on
fun.
the Raiders losing because I wasn't able to watch the game regular. You know what I
Yes,
mean? So yeah, I
that's what
mean
happened.
it has a lot to do with the players and coaches, but I want to blame golf right now.
Let's get into the first game of the season for both of our teams against each other. The Raiders visiting the Chargers in Los Angeles at SoFi Stadium. Uh, Final score: Chargers 22, Raiders 10. Chargers pick up the W to start the season over uh, new head coach for the Raiders, AP, new
AP.
quarterback for the Raiders, Gardner Minshew, new starting running back. Uh, as a Raider fan, as the House Raider expert, what are your thoughts on the game? How are you coming out into week two? What's the mindset?
I mean a lot of the stuff that people were talking about that they needed to shore up or help with, you could see it out there. The line definitely they got Cody Whitehair starting. There was a lot of buzz about Jackson Powers starting, the rookie that they drafted out of Oregon in the
Mm-hmm.
second round. But he's dealing with injuries right now. He had injuries throughout the offseason, so they, we might want to get him out there sooner than later. There was a lot of buzz about him, so I'm excited. Hopefully, we get him out there sooner than later. Obviously, the
The
line,
offensive
yeah, the
line,
line, of course. Defensively, the D line looked good, but look, I'm give it up to Joe Alt
yeah,
before we start. He did a really great job against Max Crosby, and that's why he went that early. People were talking about maybe he went a little too early to the Chargers, but hey, he really kept Justin Herbert clean on Sunday, so that's a
yeah.
big pickup for them. Joe Alt, he's
Joe
gonna
Alt
be
from
Notre Dame, baby. We won't talk about that. That's done with for this week. But yeah, uh, he's gonna be the anchor of that line for a long time.
I like it.
So, I mean, yeah, they need to show some stuff. They lost Kuntz for maybe the year. They're talking about Malcolm Kuntz, who came on late last season, towards the end, picked up 8 sacks last season. It was really great against the run. So they're gonna have to replace him for at least 5 games. Um, the big rookie that they got 2 years ago, Tyree Wilson, he got hurt too. So
Oh,
he's a
okay.
little banged up. He's got a knee problem. So they signed uh Calavian Chason, who was currently on the Panthers roster, I think from the offseason. But he was a first round pick linebacker out of LSU for Jacksonville. And now he's a journeyman in the league. So hopefully new spot, new place can revive his career with the Raiders. He looked great at LSU. So Raider fans, we're all hoping that he comes great with the Raiders. One good thing about it, you saw they talked a lot about it. I mean, it might be over talk, but the brotherhood that the Raiders have now under Antonio Pierce. And I know this is bad,
I see
but
it. I see it.
yeah, during the fight that they had, the little scuffle that they had, where Jack Jones and Palmer were ejected, you can see that they all play for each other. They all at least ride for each other. They're together. That's a good thing. You saw
Yeah,
Max Crosby get out there. Yeah, he was a little bit involved too. So that's cool to see. On the other hand, man, we really got to stop that run with a new D line like that. Secondary, they got to help with the run, especially the linebackers. They got ran over all day. Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins. J.K. Dobbins had himself a day.
bro.
He had
J.K.
himself a day.
Dobbins. I don't. And this is a quick temper on the like hype of it though. Is chill out. He's not going to average
True.
13 and a half
Right.
carries,
Right.
or 13 and a half yards a game, but definitely is what they envisioned when they signed, Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah.
Low
Yeah.
price, but the possibility that they return to form or continue their
Right.
production, it would be, well worth signing them. Man, looking at the yards, the Chargers finished with 176 rushing yards, which is Chargers can't run the ball, never could. On the first game of the Jim Harbaugh era, they're grinding out clock, they're trying to control stuff like that. It looked really bad for the first half, honestly, right? Because
And the
just
Raiders
like
looked good in the first half.
yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
just kicking
So
field goals, kind of being manhandled, not looking like everything was put together, but definitely seeing the power of the Raiders, like D line and signing
yeah.
Wilkins, having Max Crosby and that Raider attitude and just freaking going after causing chaos and messing around with them. Yeah, again, shout out to Joe Alt for short of the right side. I think Crosby got the sack, but it was on Slater. Like it
It
was
was on
on
Slater.
the other side of the line. Slater
Yeah.
also a freaking all pro. So that's going to be great. And it's cool that we got like, the Jim Harbaugh outline and a win. Like if we're going to run
Right.
this, kind of have Justin Herbert chill out and just pick up third downs, just convert, just be a game manager, Justin Herbert, then it needs to at least end up in W. So I think just getting the first one out the door is going to make everybody more comfortable as far as Charger fans, people in the organization, the team, able to buy in more, kind of keep it rolling,
Right.
and just keep doing what they do. Keep plugging away with Gus Edwards, keep letting J.K. Dobbins break out, keep just converting small parts. I forgot that Josh Palmer got ejected because I was looking at Ladd McConkey, who kind of led the Chargers in targets and catches and got that touchdown.
I think Jesse Palmer
Because Palmer
getting
was
kicked
out.
out. I don't think that would have made much difference. I think
It still would have been McConkey.
I think Herbert found himself a new nice little target. He sits well into the zones. He finds those spots. He's like slot Travis Kelce. Not as good as Travis Kelce. Don't come for him. But he finds like those dead spots in the zones and he just sits there, comes across the middle very well. So yeah, I think Ladd McConkey is going to be one of his favorite targets. And I think the running right now and the game managing by Justin Herbert is just because they got to figure things out real quick. And I think later into the season, we'll see Justin Herbert throwing it downfield again like he used to. As soon as he gets assimilated with his receivers, he finds what they like, what they don't like. Quentin Johnson, again, was involved in the fight. He should have got kicked out. But I think that might, like you were saying, I still trying to give him a chance, but like I don't know. I think I don't know. He might not be the dude that they drafted out of TCU that they thought they drafted.
He's a good like secondary or slot. You know what I'm saying? Like
Maybe,
definitely
yeah.
could be a mismatch physically. He is speedy. He is strong. He drops a bunch of balls.
Right, he ain't got no
That
hands.
is crazy.
For a receiver, he don't got no
Hey,
hands.
what's up? Jet receiver, jet like motion handoff guy. We need to turn him into that, like a Kadarius Toney. That's crazy. I mean, he does. The Chargers make
Right.
sure the social media team make sure to post his catches when he makes them. Just
I
a
also
reminder.
think the second half adjustments that Harbaugh made speaks to his level of experience in coaching. I love AP. I wouldn't trade him right now because I love him as a coach, but I think the way Harbaugh came out, made the adjustments, and AP came out, and that was all AP's energy that they felt in the first half. The Raiders were building off of his energy, just they loved that in the first half. It was working for them, but Harbaugh being a more experienced head coach, came out in the second half and made the adjustments that AP is going to learn to make, with a little bit more seasoning. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Was it like
again,
matchups or like play calling? What would you say the adjustments were?
I think they were both. He found a way to, again, contain Mac Crosby most of the time. Even if it wasn't Joe Alt, he found a way to chip Crosby coming off the edge, found ways to just misdirect him, the other way. Uh, Offensive wise, he decided to just go back to the run game. They just sat in that. They just really ran the ball really well. Yeah, of course, injuries probably were a concern for the Raiders. They were probably a factor in that second, but we're not going to take anything away from the Chargers, who came out, executed a
Thanks.
great game plan. I know I'm trying to be professional. What I really want to say is, fuck your Chargers. They cheated. They're fucking
Cheaters.
cheaters. But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, looks like a good season.
This
The Raiders are probably going to have to grow a little bit more than the Chargers right now, because the Chargers have the running backs to really simplify things right now before
this
they figure everything out
this is
with
what
the
I
two
want to talk
guys that they
about.
have.
The Chargers and the Raiders running back situation. Because the Chargers have Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins. J.K.
Right.
Dobbins, who went off 10 carries, 135 yards, a touchdown. I mentioned 106 yards came on 2 carries. Okay. So, and on those 2 breakaway carries, he didn't break away enough. He got chased down. I sound like I'm hating on J.K. Dobbins. I'm just trying to be real. I was looking at the stats, and I don't think it's going to continue. Hopefully, he does stay healthy, but he does have that injury history, and I don't think he's going to be as efficient. Also, Gus Edwards, I expect him to be a lot more efficient in the carries. He kind of looked like he was just running into
Definitely.
the back of the offensive line, but that kind of worked together in tandem with J.K. Dobbins' thunder, lightning. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Having that
Right.
Reggie Bush, Lendale White comparison. Uh, but yeah, the Chargers are going to run the ball. They're going to manage the game. They're just going to try to pick up points consistently, not get into a deficit, kick 3 field goals in the first half and be okay with that, playing good defense. You know what I'm saying? That the bill of sale for getting Harbaugh, it's all checking out right now. And I
For
mean,
sure.
it's only one game, but you like
No,
to see it
you
confirmed.
can see it. And you can
But the
tell. I think they're just really waiting for Justin Herbert to get comfortable with the guys that he has in his receiving room. So once he can figure that out, the
yeah,
offense will open up a little bit more. Like you just said, both that they have both J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards, who are experienced, and when they were healthy with the Ravens, they were good. They were both starting caliber running backs for the Ravens.
both
One
picking up points.
behind the
Yep.
other, yeah, they were both picking up points. So yeah, that's a good situation for them right there. The Raiders, on the other hand, they have Zeus. He didn't do much, but they also got behind. So once you get behind, it's hard to get touches as a running back, because now you're trying to catch up.
Unless you're
And
getting catches.
right, and you're not just playing the other team now. Now you're playing the clock, because you're trying to get points at the same time, use your time management wisely. So that was tough for them in the first. Again, like I tell everybody, yeah, look at the preseason. He looked good at in the year. Yes, I know he did, but that's a totally different year. Everybody else is gonna get better. He looks like he got bigger.
Zeus.
Yeah, it's only the first game.
Well, let
I
me ask you about that then, because Zeus, a little underwhelming. I thought he was running strong, he was running
definitely,
strong runs,
definitely,
right?
yeah,
But overall, wasn't taking over the game or picking up first downs. And when the game got, like you said, it started turning into more passing.
yeah.
Alexander Madison, who finishes with 5 carries, almost 20 yards, but 6 targets,
He's a
and
better back out of the back. He's a better catcher out of the back.
well, okay. So if you had to choose one of those to start in fantasy, would you rather have Zamir White or Alexander Madison?
Zamir White right now still, because I think he's going to get the majority of the touches, running or catching, either one. They're going to bring Madison in for third downs or passing downs, so he's not going to get in there right now. So I'd still start Zamir White, because he's the start, and he's going to get starting minutes, starting touches for the moment, They're not really splitting carries. Like you said, he had like 6 carries or 5 carries. But he had like 6 targets catching. So
I think he was out there more on like pass blocking downs too,
right, right. So
because I think he got in there like a bunch of snaps. So okay, so you'd rather have Zamir White starting running back,
for now,
usage
because
at
he's gonna get the starting touches. Like he might not get like you just said, Zamir White might not get all the snaps or as much snaps as Madison did, but he's gonna get more touches. They're gonna bring Madison
exactly.
in for sure to block. He's a better blocker, better receiver out of the backfield, but he's a running back. And what you want your running backs to do is run the ball. And
Yeah.
Zamir White is still the #1 guy in Las Vegas to run the ball.
So it says here, according to fantasy football analysts on Instagram, they got these charts for running back usage, right? And exactly like you said, Madison was out there for 60% of the Raiders' plays, and Zamir White was only out there for 38% of the plays. But Zamir
Right.
White almost doubled up, Madison in touches and targets. So Zamir White had 15 total carries and targets or catches, and Madison had 9.
So yeah,
He's going to be there for like running downs, and Madison might be out there on passing downs, but half the time it might be to block to try to get the ball
that's what I'm
downfield.
saying.
Oh, another thing, I thought Devontae was like not used
Right.
enough or targeted enough. What do you think the issue was there? What did he end up with? I think he was targeted the freaking 6 times. Brock Bowers led the Raiders with 7 targets.
Like again, like tight ends are always like when you're in a team like the Raiders who are I hate to admit it, but still in the
Transition.
transfer phase. Like yeah, transition phase. God, they're still in a transition phase
Oh yeah.
of becoming, a better team. So tight ends are a premium when you're in that mode. So trying to transition
Dump
into
off, right?
better
Because
team. So
the other guy that got 6 targets, like we said, Alexander Madison, the running back. So dump
right.
off, short
So
stuff.
same
Okay,
jump
yep.
short stuff. And what's his name? Bauer. Bowers is so good at again, like we were talking about like McConkey, just getting open. He's a good route
And he's
runner. He can play the
mismatched
slot.
too.
Right. Play the slot, he plays the tight end, he can play H back, a whole bunch of stuff. He can do a whole bunch of stuff. The knock on him is his blocking, but he's also working on that. And you got Mayer there, who also Michael Mayer, who blocks catches as well. So I think those guys are going to be really big for whoever's quarterback for the Las Vegas Raiders right now. Those are going to be his safety nets right now. Devontae is a star for sure, but it's a lot harder for them to get the ball out because one, defenses are going to target Devontae Adams. We all know people have talked about it that the Raiders quarterback situation isn't the greatest. So
No,
I like Minshew. I'm pretty sure he's not going to be a Super Bowl quarterback every year, but I think he's able to get the job done. But everybody's got to work together. It's going to be a lot of moving pieces right now in the next few weeks for the Raiders, so they can get to being. They were competitive. I don't want to downplay it. I don't want to sound like a hater just because we lost. So I'm not.
no,
I'm a
no,
Raider for
no.
life for sure. But
Yeah,
yeah, they're gonna have to move. The old line is definitely gonna have to be looked at. They're gonna have to get somebody in there because Cody Whitehair was getting his ass worked all day long,
who's
and
that?
he's the guard. He's one of
Yeah,
the guards. And nothing against the D line from the Chargers, but they've never had good D tackle play. So for
yeah,
your
right.
guard to get beat like that all game long, that's a
Oh,
problem.
that even more says to it.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, gotcha.
that's a problem. So yeah, I mean, moving forward, the Raiders I think the running game's gonna have to be big for them. I think they're gonna have to feature Bowers and Michael Mayer a little bit
Mhm.
more. Devontae Adams is gonna have to take a bigger leadership role because that's the only way he's gonna be able to stand not getting all the touches or the looks that he's supposed to be getting is just to become a leader on the team. You know, be something better than just the decoy for him. So yeah.
Okay, so as far as fantasy football goes for Devontae Adams, what would you say he's still a number one receiver? I mean, 6 targets is cool, but he had 5 catches, 59 yards total. You know what I'm saying? What, 10, 11 games? Or 10, 11 games. 10, 11
pick back up at Devontae.
Sorry, what?
You were talking about Devontae Adams, his usage?
Yeah. Devontae Adams had 11 points, right? Do you think that's going to be, or how can that be more? Are they going to, you think they're going to throw the ball to him more? Is he?
I do, because they know he's Devontae Adams. He's the best player you have on the team, not named Max Crosby. Still the best player on the offensive side of the ball. They're going to have to find ways to get him the ball to win. That's not that's like second grade math. You know, that's a no-brainer. So I think they'll find ways. That's going to fall upon Getsy. So we'll see. Again, a lot of people talk about Getsy's past, what he did in Chicago. It wasn't great. But then you talk about what he did in Green Bay, where he had, of course, Aaron Rodgers, though. But he still had Devontae there. So he's got Devontae now again. He's just got to find ways to get him the ball. Whether they be short in and outs or him coming across the middle, where he works very well. His route running, again, people think Devontae is like this speedster. That's not his game. He's the best route runner in the game, I think, as a receiver. Just he knows how to get open. You know, you could have 2 people on him. He still knows how to get open. So I think they'll find a lot of ways. But they're gonna have to find ways to get him the ball. And I think that's their plan moving ahead, is to try to feed him more. So if you're a manager right now with Adams on your fantasy team, don't panic just yet. Don't panic. I mean, 11 points is
would you
not
trade?
Too bad.
So would you trade for him though? Like maybe people are panicking, right? Maybe you said
no. No, I would. If it was the right trade, definitely.
I mean, you probably get him for cheap right now. If someone got him like in the third, fourth round, and thought he was going to be like 10 targets, they're just going to throw the ball to Devontae like they do Justin Jefferson because they have nothing else. Like, I mean, okay, but yeah, hopefully they realize, you know, where the offense's bread is buttered and they can get the ball to one of the best playmakers. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, and as far as the Chargers, I think Justin Herbert finished with like 12 fantasy points. J.K. Dobbins blew up. Well, I think that's going to be a lot more even production-wise, carries-wise,
I needed a backup
or
in
week to
one
week.
of our leagues, so I went back and got Justin Herbert.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's going to be. Oh, and that's the other thing I wanted to say about, you know, the run offense. It's going to be, you know, ground and pound, right? But then people are going to start loading up the box on the Chargers, and that's when that, you know, Colin Kaepernick throw it deep to somebody streaking downfield type offense is going to pop up. That Greg Roman part of, okay, if you're
sorry, I think you just got muted, or I can't hear
you. Okay, so Chargers and Raiders are going to be fine. It's going to be fun. The season's going to be great.
Right.
The next big news, we got to flip this. The bigger news, Christian McCaffrey was out this week, a surprise inactive to everybody but Jordan Mason and the Niners.
Of course he goes out the year that I'm able to draft him.
Oh, you got Christian McCaffrey in the league?
In another league, I got the first pick, so I took CMC.
Yo, yeah, I had the first pick in the Oregon League, and freaking luckily it's a super flex, so I went quarterback because I could have got Christian McCaffrey. And I was like, running back, you know, a solid running back that's going to be used all the time. He plays all the games. He's a sure winner. If he plays all the games, he's a sure winner. But he's not. And now the news is that he's not going to play week 2 either. They're worried that he's not going to play week 2. This is like, these aren't like internet rumors. This is freaking Adam Schefter. His Instagram is saying that he's hearing, McCaffrey's not going to make week 2. So I'm definitely not trading away Jordan Mason. If you were able to pick up Jordan Mason for as long as nice.
So the same league that I got McCaffrey in.
For as long as that ankle Achilles tendonitis is holding McCaffrey back, and Forrest, like you said, like what's the point of putting him out there if he's not 100% and risking
Right.
re-injuring it at game speed when you have a guy that can fill in and you're going to keep winning? Let that Mack truck just freaking stay in the shop, make sure it's all tuned up the right way, and you can have
Right.
Christian McCaffrey out in week 3 or 4 or 5, whatever.
And so for people who are thinking that it's not that bad of an injury, it's just an ankle and like Achilles pain. Well, if it's Achilles pain, you're definitely gonna want to rest him because if there's pain in your Achilles, it means it's tight, and if it's tight, it means there's definite possibility that it's gonna pop or rupture. So
Okay.
so that's why they're resting him. That's why it's they're thinking about resting him for game 2 because Achilles injuries are horrible. If you have look in your
You're
daily
done. You're
right,
done.
if you're walking around right now in your daily life and your Achilles feels tight or hurt, please go get a bucket or a bowl, fill it with ice, rest your foot. I'm telling you, for someone who's ruptured, a full rupture in his Achilles, I went conventional. I didn't get surgery. I sat in the cast for like 8 months. I'm telling you,
Just let
if
it
if
heal
yeah,
back up together.
if it feels like it hurts right now, just take some time off of it. You know, whether
Well,
you play like competitive sports or you go to the gym or you just like to go play ball or run around. Take a little rest, let it get loose again, and then yeah, then go back out there.
yeah, yo, hey, Kobe's Achilles popped out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? They just pop.
That's what I'm
They
saying.
and if they're super tight, what you're saying is they're even more likely to pop.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you're doing crazy hops and jumps and cuts and running and
That's
explosive
how
movements,
that's how I
even
hurt
more.
mine because I got hops. I was playing basketball that day. I came
Right.
I came down the floor on a break. You know what I mean?
Ah! Ugh!
Not the rib,
Okay.
but my Achilles.
So okay, Jordan Mason, how long do you think he's gonna have the starting job? Just
Two
off of,
games.
off the vibes right now. You think just the
Two
first two
games.
weeks?
Yeah, just the first
And
2 weeks.
okay. So play Jordan Mason this week. If
But
you
the thing
have
about that is you keep him because now you can play him at the flex because he might say he's got some pop to him. So if
oh,
CMC comes back and even if he's got like worried about the soreness or the team's worried that the wear and tear might get to him this season,
mm.
he'll probably get a lot more snaps now than expected for sure. So
if you
whether
had
CMC comes back or not, keep him.
if you had Jordan Mason in week 1, you probably drafted him as a CMC handcuff, or
Right.
maybe not even a handcuff. Just thinking, if CMC misses time, this guy is going to fill in, right?
Yeah.
And we saw what happened. He got like 28 carries, 140 something yards, and a touchdown, right?
Yeah.
He's definitely the offense runs a lot better when there's a workhorse running back they can feed or Brock Purdy can dump
For
off
sure.
to. I think he only
For
got
sure.
like 3 catches. But okay, so Jordan Mason has proved already that he's going to be the guy to fill in if Christian McCaffrey misses time. And this could not be the end of it. Even if he does, they declare him good enough to come back, you know, if something happens to him in week 4, week 5, week 6, week 8, whatever, you could
Right.
have, if you hold on to Jordan Mason, you could have somebody that's an RB1 during, the ramp up to playoff season, during
That's true.
before the trade deadline.
That's true.
If you're looking to the trade for picks or other players, that could be somebody definitely worth holding on to. I got a text today from the guy I'm playing in Shane's league who has Christian McCaffrey. He was like, "Hey, I see you have Jordan Mason. I see you have all of my running back handcuffs." he had James Conner. I had Trey Benson. He had Aaron Jones. I had Ty Chandler. He's like, "Thanks a lot, you dick." I was like, "I did not do that on purpose. I didn't know they were yours. I was just drafting for this scenario, right? If I passed up on running back, let me get some guys who aren't starters right now, but if, God forbid something happened to the guy in front of them,
Right.
they're the
Right.
ones that are going to eat. They're the ones that are going to get 10, 15, 20, 25, 28 carries,
Yep.
so many different opportunities to score points. And it already is working out a lot sooner than you thought. People were like, "Baby Christian McCaffrey gets hurt halfway through the season." And it actually turns out Jordan Mason is paying off in week 1. So Mason might be a good guy if he's not taken already. Scoop him up
For sure.
off of
Yeah.
your wires or free agency, because if even after he stops being someone who's serviceable, and what I mean, I hope it happens a little differently in that they don't split time when CMC comes back. Hopefully CMC stays out until he's 100% and then comes
Right. Well,
back
it's not
and
gonna
then
be. It'll never be 50-50 between his
right.
CMC, of course. But he'll at least see that CMC he won't have to get all the wear and tear again because they did
Okay.
lose Elijah Mitchell. So
Injured
now
reserve.
they have Mason now. And again, people are thinking, well, I mean, how many more carries can he get as a backup, even if CMC took a lot? Because you think about it, he's the second back. Well, who's behind him? The third back. Obviously, you're not trying to play your third back or give him minutes.
Yeah.
So you're a second string running back. He's gonna get a lot of usage. So yes,
Another running back name to note is the Dolphins' Jalen Wright, because they're playing on Thursday, which is probably when you're hearing this or even later. The Dolphins and the Bills play on Thursday, but the Dolphins starters, Raheem Mostert, has already been declared out,
he's
and
out,
Devon Achane also is injured
questionable day
and
to day.
might not play. So it's going to be Jeff Wilson Jr., who was a longtime Niners running back, followed McDaniel to Miami, and then it's going to be, I think, the rookie Jalen Wright, who
Yeah,
they
he's pretty good. Generation pretty good, but I think
fast, right? I mean, that's their
yeah,
whole,
he's
that's the
fast.
motto, that's the Miami motto right there.
I think Jeff Wilson actually is going to get a really good opportunity this week to play. So if you guys have an opportunity to pick up Jeff Wilson or you have him on your roster, definitely start him. Even Waddle's a little banged up still. Uh, Tyreek
Hey.
coming off this whole arrest thing.
Oh my goodness!
It's blowing up even more now because the video came out, and again he came out and said that yeah he did something wrong. He's taking accountability for what his part and everything going, but he really thinks the guy should be fired just because how he came out heated like that. And a lot of people saw the video. If you haven't seen the video, it's everywhere. You can go see it. The cop was a little bit, he was being a little aggressive, a little
Yeah, he
more
was
aggressive than
mad. It was a power trip. He was mad. He
definitely.
was mad. The civilian was not listening, was not afraid, was not obedient, was not
Yeah,
subservient. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it pissed him off so much that he like
pulled
had
him out of the
Tyreek
car,
down,
throw
was
him to
like
the
knocked
ground,
him over.
and
He had him on the ground. He
Tyreek's dudes
twisted him up.
were on the side. I think it was his teammate, one of his teammates that stopped and pulled over to help, and he
Yeah.
was videotaping it. Then he tried to arrest him. So yeah, crazy situation. What we're getting at right now is that everybody's going through a lot of stuff right there. All the starters on the Dolphins offense. So if you have Jeff Wilson,
Hey,
it's a pretty good bet that he's gonna have. He's gonna work. He's gonna get his money's worth on Sunday because I
if
think he's gonna put
Achan
in the work.
misses,
If
then
I think even if
S.
Achan's there, I think your best bet maybe to start him over Achan with the injury, of course.
I think
I
if
think.
Achan's good enough to play, I think he's going to get like McCaffrey like work. Like he's going to get 75%. And then there's going to be some guys, maybe when he needs a breather. But I think he got goal line work too. It's crazy.
We'll see.
And then,
Just
okay.
because it's day to day. I mean that it's probably painful still, and then like, man,
Well,
him going
if it's
into again.
painful, let the dude
That's all.
sit. He got to sit.
Yeah, but I have Mostert, so I'm sad.
Oh, okay. Sammy also had Mostert, and she was like, what the hell is this guy doing? I was like, he's trying his best, actually. He's like 50 years old. So fast. Okay, another big injury. Rams wide receiver Puka Nacua. Recently, I mean, in the first game of the season.
I think we jinxed it, man. We were talking about it so much last week.
I lost it. I lost the game. I lost the game by 7 points, and it was one of the where I had Puka, and I was like, oh damn. It's all his fault. No, no, injuries happen. It's whatever.
You didn't
Uh,
you didn't inbox him, did you?
no. I mean, I should have been like, hey, get better. The Rams put him on injured reserve this week. He had like a foot or a knee
Minimum 4
problem.
games.
He re-aggravated the knee problem that kept him out of the preseason. But now that he's on injured reserve, like you said, at least 4 games where he's not even available to play, right? He's so hurt, he got to chill for a month. But he will be eligible to come back in week 6 or 7. They might have a bye in week 6, so it might be week 7.
Oh,
uh, yeah.
I mean that's tough.
I just need to relax, just calm down. Luckily, I got Puka in both our leagues as a late keeper because he was not drafted last year. But hopefully he comes right back in week 7. You know what I'm saying? But I'm worried it's going to be, really hard trying to get, especially someone who cuts so hard, who gets so open, so seemingly violently, that it's going to be a lingering issue. But hopefully he comes back after 5 weeks and you can plug him right back in as the guy across from Cooper Kupp. But in the meantime, in between times, who do you choose as the player in the Rams offense that's going to gain the most fantasy wise from this? Cooper Kupp, who finished with 21 targets, 16 of those targets after Puka left in the second quarter with his injury. They were just feeding him the ball, as well as Tyler Johnson and wide receiver 3, Demarcus Robinson. I think tight end Colby Parkinson also got a couple, but going over that, who do you think? Who are you more likely to pick up, or are you staying away from this?
No, I think Robinson, if you can, he's more of a complete receiver than Johnson is. Johnson is your speed guy. You're definitely gonna get a lot of points with him because he's gonna have just probably some really explosive plays, and he's gonna pick up a lot of yards on 40-yard streak down the field or one of those jet sweeps. So, but I think with the amount of time that Puka's gonna miss, and I think the trust that they have in Demarcus Robinson I think that's the best bet that you would go with if you were able to pick him up and so you can replace him with Puka.
Do you have a Cooper Kupp in any leagues?
I do. I have him in one of the leagues, so I'm pretty stoked.
Because he's going to get like 15, 20 times thrown to him.
We saw it when he was gone, and Puka got all the receptions, and then we saw it when Puka got a little banged up. I think Kupp's usage went up again. So yeah, that's pretty much what their offense is geared to. Is Kupp and Nacua. So when one is out, the other one is definitely gonna have to pick up the slack of the other. So
with Puka going to injured reserve and being out for at least a month, you probably won't be able to trade for Cooper Kupp, right? Because as a Cooper Kupp owner, you're like, oh, he's about to eat. He's about to get the ball thrown to him.
Yeah.
Is there any sense in your mind to trade Kupp away at this time, or maybe a little later, close to Puka's return? Or is that
maybe
not even
to Puka's return? Maybe
what would it take? What would it take for you to trade Cooper Kupp before week 2?
Before week 2?
Yeah, before this next game even happens.
It's gonna have to be a top 5 player because Cooper Kupp's
Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, I would do Tyreek. I would do
Jamar
Tyreek.
Chase.
No.
Justin
I don't
Jefferson.
trust no, I don't trust their quarterback. I like Sam Darnold. Don't get me wrong. I like Sam Darnold, but I don't know.
CeeDee Lamb or Tyreek Hill.
CeeDee. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it would have to be one of those guys. Okay,
yeah, one of those guys.
Or like a different position, maybe like obviously like one of the top, Bijan.
Maybe Bijan or
Ezekiel Elliott. I just wanted to see it. I want to see it. Your face.
I just gave you a clip. There you go. I just gave you an Instagram reel.
Yeah. Cooper Kupp. You're holding on to Cooper Kupp right now. You're going to ride the production that's about to come down from the former Triple Crown winner.
For sure. Another big name that's going to be out, I think, this weekend even though it's early and he's going to be a rookie or is a rookie, is Odunze. Odunze's out.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Odunze's out.
Oh, hey, what's up? I saw you got Keenan Allen. I want to trade for Keenan Allen in the Ballinesian League. What can we do this now? Like, what is he? Isn't
Hmm.
he on your bench? Is he on your bench? No, he's a flex or
It's
something.
man, why are you trying to you ruining my strategy? That's just for now. I'm just trying to let people think, oh man, he's not even playing.
Oh, sneaky guy!
Yeah. now, now
Oh,
look.
strategy. He's not even gonna play Keenan Allen. And Keenan Allen pops in there for 12 catches. No, Keenan
Oh,
Allen 11 targets. Uh, and now Odunze out, but there's DJ Moore on the other side. DJ Moore, even though he got fewer targets, finished with I think more catches and more yards. Caleb
still,
Williams did not have a great day, right? What do you
no,
have,
he
like
didn't.
90
He
passing
didn't.
yards?
I
That's
think
tough.
he was. I think he hacked himself out of it or psyched himself. Sorry, I think he psyched himself out of a good game. Just even though people think he's like arrogant, it's not arrogance. It's confidence.
That's
And
a
I
little
think,
arrogance.
yeah. But I think the moment was pretty big for him coming into the league because
Hmm.
it's something him and his pops have been working towards forever. So I think he just maybe just was trying to do a little too much in the first game. So I think he'll be able to settle down in this next one. But what better person to have on your team than Keenan Allen to like really settle you down?
Hmm.
Like you said, get you like these really good 11 catches, like just to get you into your like your flow.
Yeah.
So Keenan Allen's gonna be great for him.
Completions,
Yeah,
keep the chains going.
for
We're
sure,
moving
for
down
sure.
the field, guys. We're at least
Yep,
getting a field goal. We're getting closer. We got a shot at a touchdown. We're running in a touchdown. It's nice
exactly.
to have Keenan Allen on your team.
Yeah,
The whole worry through the offseason was, oh snap, Keenan Allen's gonna look old. Oh, he's looking a little fat. He's looking like he's not being Keenan Allen, right? He's
yeah.
not really trying. He's just collecting his $20 million and for a year in Chicago. But they threw it to him 11 times. That is crazy. That's a lot. That is a lot of
He's
times.
look,
Uh,
he's Keenan Allen, man. All he did was it hasn't even been a whole year. What he went through was an offseason. So
I,
uh right now he's questionable, but that's just because again, he's
even
probably
better.
he's a vet, he's an older receiver, so
Oh, yep. Vet
if they
days.
put him at questionable, yeah, he can sit out there and just like go
Yeah.
like not full contact or
Mm.
just have like limited usage and practice until like the last two practices and then make him healthy and then he can go full. Then it just saves his health until it's game time. So
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Vet days. Like,
yeah,
put him as,
yeah,
like his ankle hurts or his knee hurts or
yeah,
something, let
yeah,
him rest.
yeah.
Uh, I would trade for Keenan Allen. Caleb, like, and now especially, right? Because I think he had 11 targets, but he only had 2 catches. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah,
So
because
the score looks really low. His quarterback play looks really low. Caleb Williams coming off a jittery first game, only throwing for 97 yards. Everything looks bad. They barely won. They only won because of the defense and special teams both scored touchdowns. Uh, Now could be the time where Keenan Allen owners aren't, paying attention and they're like, oh, this throwaway guy I got in the middle to late rounds is not really doing anything. I told you he was fat. He only got 2 catches. Um, Trade for him now because if they're going to throw the ball to him 10 times, the guy has the hands. And if it's only for, 6 catches, 60 yards, that's 12 PPR points. That's a definite flex. And
right,
if, and that's a baseline. That's low for Keenan Allen. He's got the hands. He's got the moves. He's like that Travis Kelce, like find the spot in the
exactly,
middle and
exactly.
work. And after the catch, too, work his way
He's
and
tough
getting
with the
yards and
ball in
keep
his
it. Yeah.
hands.
Keenan Allen, trade for him if you can. I'm saying, what's up? I got some running backs. I
Let's
got
get advice, Lance. If you guys have the chance to trade for him, trade for him. Lance doesn't have that chance, but if you guys have that chance, you go ahead and trade for him.
all right. Yeah, so okay. Puka's on injury reserve. I hope he comes back very soon. Wide okay. So I did this thing about wide receiver differential between their fantasy scores and what their fantasy projections were. I got like the worst 8 and the top 8 before. Where did it go? Um, for week 1 for wide receivers, right? Uh, some of the top guys were on the scored less than their projections. They were duds, right? You had Nakua, who unfortunately was injured in the
Got
second
hurt.
quarter. CD Lamb scored 6.7 points less than his projection. Calvin Ridley, Devontae Adams, Jamar Chase, Zay Flowers. If you had these guys, they didn't meet projections, which, when you're looking at the scores and stuff, that's basically what they're going off. Is the guy, gonna hit the score that we said? Is he gonna shoot a bunch more? And they do all the percentages during the game. Yeah, that's what they're going off of. But a bunch of these guys were first round picks. Chase, CD Lamb, Justin Jefferson. Uh, do you think that's because their projections are so high? Which, I mean, some of these guys
I
were
mean,
projected 16, 18 points, and then they just had a day where, the defense commits to them and locks them up.
no, I think the low scores are actually the abnormality because those guys get those like regular, like 16, 17. So
Mm-hmm.
them not getting it, I think that's the abnormality. So I think you can count on them to start scoring their regular points that they're projected
Okay.
in this next week. Uh, Teams now know, or at least they should know, to give these guys the ball more, especially the teams that lost. I think quarterback play is also a big thing in that. So this is the first game. Quarterbacks are not going to be told to get the ball to certain people. You know, like Kyler Murray, everybody's asking about Marvin Harrison's usage, and he said, "Look, I'll throw to him, but it's not my job to give him the ball all the time. His, you know what I mean? A quarterback's job is to feed everybody. Well, those guys are actually
Run
top
the
targets. So I
system.
think,
Yeah.
right, I think now those guys that we just read off of all their names, they are the system for some of these teams. You know, that they're throwing
Mm-hmm.
to them is really big part of their system. So I think we're going to see a lot more of that in this second week. More usage to the guys that are counted on or that make the big money. So if you guys have any of those guys, don't worry too much. Usage should be coming up,
Yeah.
especially for Calvin Ridley because Brian Thomas kind of broke out his first game. Well, not a breakout, but he had a
Mm-hmm.
good game in his first game. So now people are gonna have to kind of pay a little bit more attention to Brian Thomas out
No.
there in Jacksonville, and it's gonna open up stuff for. Well, Ridley's actually no, he's not in Jacksonville anymore. He's in
D Hop.
right, right. Oh well,
Yo,
I don't know. Then that you might have to worry. I'm sorry, you might have to worry because Will Levis looks like shit.
if you have Calvin Ridley, that's the part. That's the problem, right? Uh, Will Levis might not be super great. But Calvin Ridley got 7 targets. He finished with 3 catches for 50 yards. CeeDee Lamb, 10 targets, finished with 5 catches for 61 yards. DJ Moore, 8 targets, finished with 5 catches for 36. Zay Flowers, 10 targets, 6 catches for 37 yards. These scores come out low, but the usage and the opportunities are high. So
Yeah,
actually on this list of the negative scores, the guys that scored lower than projections, like you said, Forrest, it's not likely to continue, right?
right.
If it does, there will be something that jumps out and we'll be able to kind of track. But it's likely that they just had an off game where the defense was focused on them. A lot of crazy variable things happen in football, but it also means that the people that had those guys might be frustrated, might be like, oh, this guy, what if he's not, what if this is every week that he only scores 6 points total. I can't have this. I drafted this guy with my third, fourth round pick, whatever it was. You can use that to trade for these guys. Look at the negative list, like Ridley, Devontae Adams, Jamar Chase, Zay Flowers, especially if Zay Flowers is going to get 10 targets, he's going to make it work. And you want to beat that Ravens offense. Find people that are like panicking about the guys not coming through after 1 week, which is what this week is. The week between week 1 and 2
Right.
is overreaction week. And what a lot of people are like first seeing the results, the data come in on their choices from the draft, and they might be like, okay, I knew I was going to be wrong about this. I should have never done this. Let me trade this guy away. Give me anybody. Friggin' take this guy. Yeah, these are names that are going to contribute. Uh, on the positive side of this list, I noticed I feel like it was more like some guys were not projected to do well and they just kind of blew up.
Ended up, yeah,
Alec Pierce, 3 targets from Anthony Richardson for the Indianapolis Colts. Alec Pierce is a wide receiver, 3 targets, 3 catches. One of them a 60-yard touchdown, 125 yards and a TD. He was plus 14.7 points from his projection. Another Indianapolis Colts wide receiver, Doolin, had a 54-yard touchdown on his only target of the game. He was almost plus 10 from his projection. But the thing is, the projection was so low because they didn't even think he was going to get in.
Exactly.
They had him projected to like 2 points, So some of these kind of stand out in that they're not standouts. Tyler Johnson, who was projected real low as like a wide receiver 4, stepped up after Puka went out. He finished with 7 targets, 5 catches for 79 yards. He was plus almost 13 points. Jameson Williams, didn't expect him to be used that much. Definitely expected that to go to what's his teammate's name?
St. Brown, fuck that
guy. Amon-Ra St. Brown let a lot of people down this weekend. He should have been on the negative side, actually. Any interest in trading away Amon-Ra for like a good running back or something?
Yeah.
See? Don't panic. No.
You have CMC?
No. No. So they would have to be CMC or Brees Hall or Bijan?
No, it doesn't have CMC. Maybe Brees Hall. Or you know what? I'd trade for Saquon. But you know what? I already have Saquon.
Yeah, okay. Some of these other guys, Jameson Williams, like I said, Cooper Kupp.
Jameson Williams, though, is different. I know we didn't expect him to do that much, but he's also a guy that was expected much of before he got hurt his rookie season coming in. And then, he had an adjustment period last year when he came back in, but he did show flashes. So him doing that much isn't too much of a surprise for me because I've seen him at Bama. I've seen some of the flashes that he had last season. And now he's just kind of him putting it all together. Him celebrating in the other team's face, kind of, a little distasteful, but whatever.
What? I don't mind. The guy that led this list with plus 21.3 points over his projected score was Green Bay wide receiver Jaden Reed.
Oh my
God! Who had 6 targets, 4 catches for 138 yards and a touchdown, as well as a 33-yard end around for a touchdown. Big, very opportunistic night for the second year wide receiver.
I think he had 3 touchdowns.
3 touchdowns?
I think he had 3. I was watching the game. Pretty sure. Yeah.
So he ended up with 33 fantasy points. And this has him 138 yards, that's 14, plus a touchdown, that's 20, plus 4 catches, that's 24, plus 33 rushing yards, that's 27.3, plus 6 yards for the rushing touchdown, 33.3 points.
Okay, just the 2. I thought that 3.
So definitely way above projection, right? He's not gonna. You shouldn't expect him to do 2 touchdowns, 160 yards.
Well, especially now that Jordan Love won't be playing for.
That's a huge part. That's a huge part of it.
Yeah.
So, what are you doing as a Jaden Reed owner in fantasy football? Are you able to even trade him away, or do you think everybody's kind of privy to Malik Willis is not going to, provide the same floor for him as Jordan Love, one of the top NFC quarterbacks, would have?
I think Malik Willis, if you watch him in college, if you're that type of
Liberty,
watch him in college.
No, I saw highlights.
I think you're hoping that he becomes that player. So you might not be trading him just right away. But for you guys who are trying to trade him away, I think it's your best bet right now would be to trade away Reed now. Because not too many people are, like you just said, privy to I think some of them are still believe that Malik Willis can get him the ball that way. Malik Willis by no form of any way is a shitty quarterback. I just think he hasn't gotten the opportunity. Especially, I thought he should have been
about to.
Levis
over Will Levis.
Yeah,
they drafted Levis with a 2nd-round pick the year after taking Malik Willis with a pick.
Right, they needed that. It would have been a bad look if they started him over Levis just because of the pick that they used on Levis and how high Levis was projected that year. So
Oh,
you know,
once Levis
Jones should be a
was
stick.
picked, I thought
Yeah,
I was like, oh, that's a slap in the face to
yeah,
Willis. They're
exactly.
like, you're not worth it.
Yeah.
You're not good enough.
So, but I think he's giving up the. I think if you're a Jalen Reed owner right now in fantasy, hold off for at least maybe 2 games. I think he's gonna be good. But if you're trying to strike now, well, you know, it's
While
hot,
that 33
right?
score is sitting
Is fresh, then yes,
on the
go ahead
blurb,
and trade him. If you're thinking long term, wait maybe a game or two. But if you're trying to flash in the pan success, just go
what do you
ahead, find someone.
what do you think you could get for Jaden Reed right now? I feel like people kind of know Jordan Love is
Like a
out,
starting
so
flex. I think you get a starting flex.
like a starting flex, like a running back 15, like Devin
Maybe.
Singletary. No, you can get better than Devin
Nah, I can
Singletary.
get better than
Joe
Devin
Mixon?
Singletary.
No, Joe Mixon popped off for like 30 points.
Joe Mixon's like he's still like a one or two.
Aaron
Uh,
Jones
Aaron Jones would be good. That'd be good value
for
for him.
Jaden Reed.
Yeah, that'd be definitely good value because again, um, I'm a Sam Darnold fan, but
Mhm.
you know, his we have seen his limitations, so
uh,
they are gonna put Jones to use out there, to open up things for Jay Jetta. So Jones would be great value if you're able to get Jones for Reed.
Jaden Reed for Jordan Mason.
On paper, that seems like the best trade ever because those two guys are new to the field. They exploded in the same week, so it's like oh okay. Well, it depends. If you need a receiver, definitely.
Yeah,
If you can
that's
take the only thing
more.
is one
Is
thing is
Christian McCaffrey going to come back?
right. That's
Yeah,
the thing. So how much usage is because after that, Jaden Reed looked like I think he started the game actually, so
yeah.
he's probably gonna
So
get more usage.
that's the thing.
Definitely.
Jaden Reed got 6 targets. Christian Watson got 5. I think Tavian Wicks got 5. So, and then Josh Jacobs got a bunch of work, right? Solid Josh Jacobs
Yeah.
day. Uh, of those wide receivers, are there any of them even worth, rostering or starting with Malik
I,
Willis, for at least, well, here's good news. The Packers did not put Jordan Love on injured reserve. So it's
mm,
possible that it
that he
doesn't even
comes
take
back.
4 weeks.
Right.
Maybe it
Maybe
only takes
3.
3 weeks and he's back. Maybe it
Right.
only takes 2 weeks and he's back. It looked like his knee popped out the socket. Sorry. I saw the slow motion. Someone posted it on a reel. I was scrolling. I did not scroll away when I saw it. I watched it like 4 times. Bad. That's not good. Hopefully it was clean and it resets and he can be back to itself. But
I mean,
the thing
there's
is,
a lot
not
of
only do you
padding.
have to be healthy enough to play, that probably means you're not going to be 100% right away. There's a difference between being able to get on the field and then also being able to launch a
True.
ball
True. I
hella
I
far.
don't think that'll be too much of a problem for him throwing. He's not the biggest runner, but his mobility is really part of his game.
Pocket.
Escapability.
Yeah,
So
yep.
yeah, but throwing downfield wise, finding his receivers, I don't think it'll be too bad of a problem for him because I've seen him throw off his back leg as well. So
Oh,
he's a strong kid.
okay,
He's a
yeah,
strong
yeah,
kid. But I think Jaden Reed either way still gets a lot of usage, so I would keep Jaden Reed. Watkins should
he's probably going to be the most
right
explosive, most targeted of them.
for sure. And
Catch him
again, we saw
across the
him.
slant, across,
Well, we saw him take that the jet
and
sweep
around.
and
Yeah,
right. So they'll find ways to get him the ball. So yeah,
interesting. Yeah. Josh
they'll find
Jacobs
ways to get him the
also
ball
arrow pointing up because they're going to have to run a lot. I
for
mean, you
sure.
think
And
the
but he
the
got the
the
usage
offense,
anyway on Sunday.
the yeah, but the offense is going to come down now that Jordan
Yeah,
Love isn't it.
you're gonna
But
simplify it
still,
a lot.
Josh Jacobs is going to be a bigger. He could be even a bigger chunk now that they're not going to throw the ball so much because they have to
Definitely,
run it
but even
because
that,
Malik Willis is the quarterback.
he's also a decent receiver out of the backfield. So they're gonna
Okay.
find ways to get. I think him and Reed are guys that they're gonna find ways to get the ball in their hands. You don't necessarily have to throw it at Jaden Reed, and you don't necessarily have to hand it off all the time to Jacobs. So they'll find ways to maximize those guys for sure. So if you have those guys in your league, I would say keep them, play them. If you have Christian Watkins, trade him.
Christian Watkins. I'm trying to find the Aaron Jones, Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs, 73% of the snaps he was
Yeah.
out there. The backup,
The, the,
24% of the snaps. That is a
he was
strong,
the backup wasn't too
time
bad,
or
but also
share of
their
the
number
targets.
one backup is done for the season. AJ Dillon, I think he's
Yeah,
done for the season.
yeah,
So yeah, Josh Jacobs is who they got. Again, people were really like they saw the backup running back running pretty hard early. They were like, oh, they wasted money on Josh Jacobs. Then Josh Jacobs just started tearing up that D line later into the game, and that's what he does. He wears you down. He
nice.
looks smaller, but he's a strong back. So he's gonna wear you down over the game, and that's when he busts those. He had was it like a 45 yarder, I think.
Nice.
He had a pretty good long run in that game. So that's what he does. He just tears you down until you're tired enough, and he's not, and just starts running over you, getting out of. That's how he breaks tackles as well. Was it a season ago? He was number one in tackles broken and yards after
Oh, yep. Josh
touch.
Jacobs.
So yep. So yeah, definitely he's built for that offense right now. Being like the workhorse of the offense, he's built for that. So if
Shout
you're a
out
Josh
to
Jacobs owner, yeah,
and
fuck
Taurus
with.
knows. Josh Jacobs used to be a Raider. Josh Jacobs was drafted as a Raider.
He's never
And
a Raider.
what?
Buster. Nah, yeah. We miss you, Josh
Uh
Jacobs.
yeah. Uh you got Zamir White. I think Alexander Madison.
I think they'll be better. I think they'll be better this year. Oh no, you're frozen.
Madison's going to be the guy. That's going to be the same thing for the Chargers. Gus Edwards when they're winning.
Hey, you know you were frozen for like 30 seconds.
I could hear you. You froze on this side, but
I do.
I think it's going to be the same way for the Raiders, where it's Zeus is going to be the run it down when they're winning. Madison's going to be the receiving back when they're
Yeah,
trying to catch up.
definitely.
For the Chargers, it's going to be Gus Edwards. When they're doing well, J.K. Dobbins when they need to pass. I feel like that's it for a lot of the teams, but like
Yeah.
Derrick Henry. Oh, if anybody's panicking about Derrick Henry, trade for Derrick Henry because the Ravens are going to be winning a lot more games than they were versus the Colts.
Oh,
Like
for
the game
sure.
script is going to be way different. Justice Hill, definitely receiving back, but
If
Derrick
if
Henry is going to have a lot of 2 touchdown games, run it
if
down,
anything,
wear him out.
you keep Derrick Henry and you trade Zay Flowers. Because even though Zay Flowers is probably like a really good two receiver or three
Uh,
receiver, he's in a running system where their quarterback runs.
oh,
So yeah,
okay. This changes my mind then about Zay Flowers getting to 10 targets and saying to trade
they
for
were
him because
behind.
they're not
They
going to
were
be
behind.
losing.
Right. They were
Right. So he's
behind.
not going to get 10 targets. This is going to be good to
Definitely.
measure, especially
Yeah.
next week.
That's why
Uh,
he had 10 targets. They were
because,
behind,
yeah,
trying to catch up. So they trying to really just get the explosive plays that
yeah.
Zay Flowers does have in him. Don't get me wrong. He's a great player. He has tons of explosiveness in him. He gets points like that. Last season, what did he have in one of his games? I think he had close to like 40 points. He just went off in one of those games. So
Yeah. Good
yeah, it's
hands.
good to have him. But I
Shifty,
think right,
open.
but because of the game plan that they're gonna want to run out there in Baltimore, I
Uh,
think you just like Lance said, calm down on the Derrick Henry note. But I think you worry a little bit if you have Zay Flowers about how many games he's gonna be able to get
interesting.
sustained points. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
All right. That's our show for this week. Thank you very much for tuning in. Shout outs. Before we do shout outs, our first shout out to our sponsor, Levasa Island Apparel,
Woohoo!
www.levassaislandapparel.com. Online on Instagram at le_vasa. Shout out to Uso Jaira, brother Uri, brother Boat, everybody out there, Modesto. Definitely follow them. They got they had the vendor
I think it looked like it went pretty well. Like it was like a little bizarre or
That's dope.
SWAT meet type thing. That was pretty dope.
Yo, putting that together for people to come out and like see and people to showcase what they have, that's dope. They also have
Right.
the food drive, a bunch of stuff going on in that network and community. So definitely follow Levasa. Forrest, any shout outs for this week? First week of the football season.
Man, shout out to all the fantasy football players out there. Fantasy football managers, sorry, team managers. Uh, don't lose your sanity. It's only the first week.
Yeah, you
Don't
still have a
worry,
good
we're
team.
good guys. Right, we're good guys. Shout out also to Frankie Newman who joined our live on Sunday as we were golfing. We were golfing with he's founded us, so we were golfing with his brother Junior,
Yeah.
Verissa. It was funny to have him out there because he's a really big golf guy too. So if you guys
Yo,
don't know,
June hit a birdie.
yo, June not a birdie, yeah. So
He like started golfing a year ago. He
right,
smacked in
that's
like a
that's his
drive
first
and
birdie.
2 putt birdie.
So everybody's getting better. Noah shot under 80 the other day. Uh,
Yeah.
Lance was smacking him down the fairway.
Oh, it
AB
was fun.
AB had some good pars out there, so it was great to see. Yeah, shout out to the to something new that might be in the works. Brown Boys Golf Club might be coming to
Yeah.
might be coming to a YouTube channel near you and some merch. So Brown Boys Golf Club, baby.
Yo, yeah. If you're some golfers, you know a golfer. If you want to get into golfing, we're getting into it too. You might as well come on in with us. We'll see how it goes. Yeah. Shout out to Eddie Samoa, who beat
Hey,
me in the Ballinesian Fantasy Football League this week.
that was his
Uh,
birthday present. That was his birthday present.
yeah, happy birthday, brother. Me and him are 4 days apart.
Ooh,
Same year, same month, basically the same week. And we've grown up, we've lived together, and yeah, yeah, been through so much, man. Just like
fire.
freaking growing up as teenagers in American Samoa, living out there. So yeah, shout out to my brother Eddie. I did not give him that win. In no way. Very lucky that Puka, decided to play through an injury. He probably should have taken the CMC route, you know what I'm saying, and sat for a week or two. Like Cooper Cup, I would have started somebody else. I don't think I would have won, actually. I looked at like my bench players, not good enough. And even if I would have played somebody over Puka,
He said,
I
"Yeah."
still would have lost. But you know, we're gonna course correct. We're playing George this week. Shout out to Raider Horse in the Ballinesian League. You're going down, brother. Yeah, you're going down. Who else? Who else? Yeah, shout out to you guys. Thanks for listening. Appreciate you
Hell yeah,
guys.
hell yeah.
Polynesian podcast, NFL football season. We got so much different things we want to do. So many topics. Freaking yeah, but a lot is happening. So yeah, appreciate you
Definitely.
guys rocking with us, tuning in. Catch us next time. For Forrest, I'm Lance. Stay hydrated, stay blessed, stay balling, love and light. Peace.
Cheese.
Go Chargers.